So I'm Matt, you guys saw me ramble for a while. This is Wes. So Wes is one of the designers on our game team. It's something that we don't like either. There's a lot of things we need to work through from a licensing legality standpoint. So we can't have certain content in the game after a certain period of time once we start putting new content in. So mixing old and new is challenging for us to figure out. So we're completely aware that the reset isn't great for players, and we're actively working at ways to improve that so it's not as terrible in Season 4. So we will have a new Season 4, absolutely. There'll be a new season that kicks off sometime in the future. But in terms of how we reset your progress, the players and all of those things, we're trying to figure that out right now so that it is not as abrupt as it has been in the past. We want it to be much more user-friendly. So we'll be talking about that one in a few months, once we figure out what we can and can't do and how we can approach it. But committed to making it 100 times better this year. I play our game a lot. He plays a lot too. The things that I play versus attack primarily over head-to-head. I don't know, what do you play?
I've mostly played versus attack, but I've been playing more head-to-head because we added a young player, and I really want him in my team. So I've been playing more head-to-head lately. There
you go. So I think in versus attack, there are things we need to improve. Things like corner kick success rate really bother me. I brought it up over there. In a game where time matters and time is ticking away, when I get a scoring opportunity and I don't score but I get a corner, I should be rewarded with a goal more often than not, or a better chance to goal, and right now we're not quite there yet. I think there are things from a responsiveness point of view that we need to improve and just make more polished. Those are the two that are my hit list items right now.
For me, I've been playing a lot of the programs as well, and for me, one of the frustration points is that so often I come back in every 8 hours and I play a drill and I get points to earn towards rewards, and I wish we had more stuff that was a bit more skill based. So if I played the skill game, that I could, based on how well I perform in the skill game, maybe I get more points. And we're looking to things in the future that to that end, but we don't know what exactly that's going to look like right now.
Commentary is one that comes up a lot. Commentary is one that we don't have in game just for pure file size reasons. If we dropped it into game, it would bloat the install size dramatically. And so we want to make sure this game is playable by as many people as possible. So games that did have commentary in the past, the games were 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 gigabytes to download. We're under 100 megs, around 100 megs right now. So it's accessible for everybody. But we have discussed how can we do a commentary type thing that'll be downloadable for people who want it. Discuss esports every year. How we're going to approach it, what has to change within the game, how we take it to market. We're lucky because we have our competitive gaming group here within EA that has taken FIFA console out to do great things esports-wise. Our game currently right now isn't set up to have a successful esports experience. The first thing we need to figure out is how can we start creating better custom matchmaking so we can create actual tournaments. Right now, as you guys saw in there, it's buggy and hacky. We have to set up custom servers. So our first step is how can we make sure that I can match up with you, you can match up with him. Then we can start creating cool tournaments and cool structures and start adding social on top of that. So it's definitely something we've talked about being on the roadmap. We just have to do some first initial checks first before we get to that level. We haven't done esports with anything mobile related yet. So from a company strategic standpoint, we have to figure out what that looks like and align with everybody in the competitive game. Yeah, so I think we were super happy on two fronts. One, we had a new gameplay engine that made in the game, and our gameplay engine was a couple of years old, and I'm sure you know, wasn't that deep. So I think the fact that we got that in there and then added real-time PvP. Real-time PvP was something that actually the importance of that was heightened because of Asia. If you want to be successful in Asia, you need a real-time PvP experience. So that was added in. So I think getting those two big pieces in for this season was a huge win for us, a lot of effort, and now it'll allow us to grow even further. That old engine, the Gen 2 gameplay engine, wouldn't have allowed us to create the experience we're going to be able to do over the next few years. Obviously, it's not great to see the movement, but I love to see the passion, and I love to see the feedback from players. That I think a lot of it is the lack of communication on our end. Basically, we have players who talk to us every day on social, and we never talk back. And so they have no idea what we're working on. They don't have no idea that we're even listening. So I think that's one thing we're trying to address with the new dev account. That's one piece. And then, of course, there are issues out there that we want to address and want to fix and that we're not happy with, but we know we can polish the game more. And so anytime we can get feedback from players, that is super, super helpful for us. It helps us ensure we're focused on the right things. We've actually found a list online of the top issues, the top, 50, 60, 70 issues out there that have been called out. And we're tracking those things as well, and we're making sure those are the things that are in our backlog that need to be addressed. We've pushed out, since the movement started, multiple server updates, a few client updates. We sped up the release of our kit program. So to me, to be able to recognize that there are so many passionate players around the world who really care about the game and want this game to do well, and are voicing that things they want to be addressed and improved, that's great. And we're going to do our best to make sure we solve all those issues and improve the communication so people understand that we're listening and create a better relationship with them. So I've been here for 15 years. So I came from console, and this company is very much a console-driven business. So I think mobile, for me coming over a few years ago, was a big challenge. Understanding the difference between mobile players and console players. So I'm surprised every single day by behavior. Surprised in terms of we put this thing in the game that we thought would do this, but it actually didn't do that. It's the opposite of it. It's like, oh, interesting. Why was that? So we look at data every day. We look at what players are doing. So World Cup, we created this whole crazy World Cup experience, which was really cool, really deep, looked good. The idea was you can build a new World Cup team. So we thought players would love it. Hey, I have my regular Ultimate team, and we can go play your World Cup team and build that team up. We quickly realized that people don't want to go build another team. People want to build and grow their starting 11 team. So World Cup didn't perform as well as we would have wanted or expected to, because people didn't want to invest time in growing a team that wasn't their main team, which was like, oh, of course, now you think about it, yeah, that would be the case. But that one was sort of, that one caught us a little by surprise. But yeah, every day surprised and delighted by what people like, what they don't like. That's how we evolve. No, he hasn't. So what'll happen with the high-end players, we go and see them. So we'll take the camera setup, we'll take production team, marketing, and we'll go visit him. We'll actually go do motion capture with those guys in Europe or wherever they are. So they'll be like, okay, today I'm with Man United. And all the players come in and shake all the pictures. Okay, tomorrow's Man City. They'll do that through the Premier League. And okay, now off to Spain, La Liga. Let's go be with La Liga teams. And that's their job. Okay, so with a guy like Ronaldo, what'll happen is there's two phases for a player like that. One we'll go and do a motion capture session with them, which is a couple of hours, where we'll say, hey, we want to capture your running or your dribbling or your passing, just football-related moves, celebrations. So that's a day of coordinating that shot list and those moves. Then there'll be another session of taking pictures for his face. And it's basically this igloo dome tent type thing. They sit them down and there's just cameras all around, and they'll say, smile, and they'll go, psh, and all the cameras go off at the same time, and they'll take that footage and they'll create the star heads from there. So a guy like Ronaldo is motion capture plus head shots. Most players don't get motion captured though. Those are special marketing type events that we do throughout the year. So what we'll do is we typically bring in local players for motion capture here. So that's Vancouver Whitecaps or MLS players. They're the ones who come up here for the majority of the content. So great professional players that are more locally accessible. Hey guys, thank you so much for playing the game. We love to hear your feedback. We love to see what you guys are doing. Keep talking to us. We're listening. We want to make the best game possible for you guys out there.
Yeah, thank you so much for playing, and maybe I'll see you guys play against you guys in the game.